share with you the results of a poll we asked a little earlier. If you could go to the moon, now it's not where the split, we had 46% of you say you would go to the moon's south pole, and 54% of you would go to the Apollo 11 landing site. I kind of side with the Apollo 11 landing site because I'm a history buff and I want to see where Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin set foot. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Lauren, which place would you go?
I'm with you on that one, and I would love to go see that flag there and those footsteps, those footprints there. Still be there, right?
They
There's no
should still
wind
be
up
Should
there.
there.
still be there. Leland, how about you?
I think I'm with both of you because it's just like, the meatball, the classic.
Yeah.
Going to the classic spot, and that's where all of it started. That's where all that inspiration came, even though I was an antenna engineer not seeing it. But besides that, that's history.
And hopefully, maybe it wouldn't have to be one or the other.
That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're going to learn more from going where we've never been before. And
Exactly.
so we need to go to
Exactly.
the South Pole too. And we are thrilled to see all of you following along online. Thank you for answering our poll. And we're going to go over to Tahira, who's been monitoring all the action with less than 25 minutes to go. Tahira, I'm sure things are heating up online.
Hey, Marie, I mean, you're completely right. Now that we have that go for launch, people are on the edge of their seat right now, waiting on this historic moment to take flight. As you can see, photos are still coming in of just everyone around the country showing their excitement for this launch. And it's really been a touching thing to see how everyone's kept this excitement going from Wednesday's first attempt. So we just took a look at numbers, and we are now over 3 million people tuning in for this historic launch. And so for me personally, I just want to wish Bob and Doug the best of luck. This will be my own first time watching humans lift off to space from the United States, and it's just going to be a super emotional moment. For that, Marie, back to you at Kennedy for these last minutes before launch.
All right. Thanks, Tahira. And Leland, we got 23 minutes and some change to go. What do you think Bob and Doug are feeling right now?
I think, they're very calm, cool, and collected as test pilots, but I think they're thinking about what are the steps that I have to take if a malfunction or something happens. And so the nominal stuff is all kind of automated, but if something happens where they have to intervene with those touch screens, that's what they're thinking.
And we're just inside 23 minutes now. So on Wednesday, we were 5 minutes further in the countdown when we heard that call to scrub, and the weather was still very touch and go at this point on Wednesday. But today, at least for right now, I don't want to jinx it. I'm afraid to even say it out loud, but it looks better today.
Yeah, and it feels like, whew, I'm feeling it a lot more than I did
It
on
feels
Wednesday.
right.
And speaking of Bob and Doug and them being really calm and cool and collected, having had the opportunity to be in meetings with them and to watch them train, I have to say, and to all of my friends who work with them every single day, the feedback is always just what great people they are,
Right.
and just how not just bright and sharp they are, but just good people.
Right.
And around the office, we often refer to them as the dads.
The
And
dads? What
they're
is
the
that?
dads. They're dads. They are dads,
Okay.
and we've met their families. And when you see people on that very personal level, it starts to mean so much. They
Right.
are a part of our team. They're not a customer. They're our team. They're not a payload. They're our
Right.
team. They're our
Yeah.
family. And so we're just so excited to see the dads up there today.
Yeah. Go
And-
Dads.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go send it over to Gary for an update from Houston. Gary?
Hey Marie, the space station team here is focused. All eyes are on the system checks that are happening across the board, and we're listening in as we close in on launch, and I can tell you that things are looking very good. Chris Cassidy will be watching from the International Space Station, right now flying over the Pacific Ocean. It's heading to cross right over the launch pad. We might even get some good views from the station. Hope to be capturing those. We'll have the launch view and the big screen up front, and everyone's excited to see our two crew members on their way to the International Space Station. But before we get to it, I just want to pass on good luck from the entire flight operations community here in Houston. It's always exciting to be doing something wholly new and history-making with station operations, and we can't wait to see our team members Bob and Doug in low Earth orbit and heading to the International Space Station. That's it from us here in Mission Control Houston. I'll send it back over to the team in Hawthorne for the latest happening there. John.
T-minus 20 minutes, 30 seconds. We're
Strong back
continuing
tail
to
started.
count down. Everything is still looking good for launch of Falcon 9 and Dragon. 22 minutes, 45 seconds after the hour.
Stage
Right
2
now on the
RP1
right-hand
load is
side,
complete.
you can see a large white cloud coming off of the strongback. That is normal. As we get ready to load the second stage with liquid oxygen, we have to chill in the plumbing lines going up that strongback. And so as we relieve pressure, the moist, humid Florida air condenses around it, and that gives you the cloud. So that tells us that things are actually on schedule. We did begin propellant load at T-minus 35 minutes. Fuel loading on the second stage, I believe we just heard the call out that it is complete. First stage fuel load is continuing, and right now that's a little more than, that's about 60% of the way full. So things are looking good. Second stage is getting ready to begin the liquid oxygen loading. After they finish chilling in the lines that you see on the monitor, they'll begin the load at T-minus 16 minutes and 30 seconds. The range right now is go, ready to support. Weather continues to be go. As we inch our way closer, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're waiting to hear if anybody calls out an issue, but for the moment, as you can see on the screen, it looks good. Now on the Dragon side, the Dragon mission director and the team there are reporting no issues. They've done their communications checkouts. The crew access arm, as you can see, is retracted away from the spacecraft. The crew is strapped in and they are ready to go. Now final instructions will be going to the crew at T-minus 10 minutes. The crew displays will be configured for launch, and that setup will give astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley insight into how the launch is proceeding and provides constant updates on vehicle health. We've already heard the crew give their go, close their visors, and get ready for launch. For Dragon, it'll enter terminal count at T-minus 5 minutes. When it transitions to internal power, we'll hear continued callouts on the countdown net as we get close to zero and to liftoff. But right now, at T-minus 18 minutes, 15 seconds, everything continues to be go for an on-time launch. So Dan, Jesse, things are looking pretty good. How are they doing over at your stand?
Things are great from about 15 feet away from you, John, and honestly, things are looking pretty great down at the pad there. We're seeing a lot more blue in the sky. Green is the color we want when we're talking about weather, and that's where we're sitting right now. So we're continuing to count down. We are under 18 minutes away from liftoff. Again, it's an instantaneous liftoff it's going to be 12:22 and 45 seconds here on the West Coast, 3:22 and 45 seconds over on the East Coast there in Florida. Just a reminder, it's going to be about a 9-minute ride up to orbit for the Falcon 9 and Bob and Doug on board Dragon. It'll be a 2-stage flight, so we'll see the first stage fly until we hear MECO, or main engine cutoff, about 2.5 minutes into flight. After that, the second stage will take over and continue to power them the rest of the way. Second engine cutoff comes in just under 9 minutes at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds. Following that second stage completing its job, it'll continue to coast for about 3 minutes. It'll do a slight attitude adjustment and null out any rates, so make sure it's not in any kind of a spin before they do separation. So that's when the Dragon spacecraft will physically separate from the Falcon 9 vehicle, and Bob and Doug will be flying free. It's about a 19-hour ride if we launch today on time. So that means Bob and Doug will get on orbit. They'll have a number of burns, or those firings of those Draco thrusters that they'll do over
Stage 2 LOX load started.
We hear the LOX, the liquid oxygen load has now started on stage 2. But again, they're going to be doing a series of burns on the way uphill towards the International Space Station 5, spread out over the first 16 hours or so of their flight until they get much closer, and it's time for that approach and docking. And we are expecting that with an on-time launch to happen today. That'll be coming tomorrow in the afternoon. All right, now that we're under 16 minutes away, we have a special guest joining us. I'm going to toss it over to Jesse.
We are T-minus 15 minutes and 45 seconds from liftoff of our second demonstration mission today, and we have the honor of having SpaceX's President and COO, Gwen Shotwell, join us. Thanks, Gwen, for coming out and taking a few minutes to chat with us.
Thanks, Jesse.
We know you've been on console. How's the countdown been going so far in there?
Countdown is clean today, just like it was Wednesday. We did clear the weather hurdles sooner than we did on Wednesday. And the only thing we're watching right now is downrange weather and lightning at the staging location.
Of course.
But we will clear that hurdle at T-minus 7 minutes.
Awesome. Great. Very exciting. Now I'm going to throw it back to 2012 because you were on console for Dragon when it was first making its way to the space station. How does that experience compare to today?
Stage 2 locks is on the DPUs
So I was nervous
anomaly.
then. I stopped getting nervous for launches. Today I'm nervous again. Super nervous. Stomach and throat.
Understandable.
No, it's a fantastic day today. I'm really excited. The team is pulled together. It's such a professional operation. And when I say team, by the way, I mean SpaceX and NASA. These folks have been working incredibly hard and have done a fantastic job.
Yes, and we are all so excited. And we know that you have to get back inside of Mission Control, but is there anything that you wanted to say before liftoff to NASA and SpaceX?
Well, I want to thank NASA, of course, for their generosity and their help with getting to this place. I want to thank all the SpaceXers who have come together to make this moment in history. And I want to thank Elon for hiring me.
We thank Elon for hiring you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to Mission Control. And good luck with launch today.
Thanks, Jesse. And Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
Well, we are so excited. We are just a few minutes away from countdown. So we are going to turn it over to Dan and John for the final minutes in terminal count. Take it away, John.
T-minus 13 minutes, 30 seconds, continuing to count down. We're continuing to load fuel onto the first stage. That should finish up in just about 6 minutes. Fuel is completely loaded on the second stage. That's closed out. And we are continuing to load liquid oxygen on both the first and second stage. The liquid oxygen load beginning on the second stage just about 3.5 minutes ago. We are also loading cryogenic helium into the storage vessels on the first and second stage, getting in the last little bits of helium when we keep it cryogenic, cold and liquefied. That gets us, just like we do with liquid oxygen, the maximum amount into the storage volume so that we can get the most performance out of the vehicle. Right now we are in a fairly quiet state on the vehicle. Ground pumps continuing to put the propellant in to first and second stages. Next significant issue callouts that we're going to hear will probably be inside the T-minus 10 minutes when they talk to the crew. We'll listen for that. But at the moment, everything continuing to look good at T-minus 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
Getting real close now, John. It's only a little over 12 minutes away. Just a reminder for everybody, it's about a 9-minute ride uphill. We'll have some dueling boxes going on as that first stage is going to be coming home while the second stage is carrying Bob and Doug into orbit. But obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on our astronauts the whole way uphill. Some of the calls that you'll be hearing, as there will be what we call performance calls over the Dragon to ground the entire way uphill. And you'll just hear some of the SpaceX engineers calling out trajectories and booster performance. So we're always looking for that word nominal. I know that's one of John's favorite words. That's one of mine too. We want to hear nominal as much as possible up on the way uphill. You might also hear some number and letter combinations, and those correspond to the different abort zones that Bob and Doug are in during their flight uphill. There's 1A and 1B, which signify that they're on the first stage. Those carry them from there in the Cape all the way up to about the very top of North Carolina. And then we'll have 2A through 2E or 2 Echo, and that will be on the second stage, and that goes from North Carolina all the way up to about the tip of Newfoundland, so in the northern Atlantic. And then there is a zone of the northern Atlantic that we're going to avoid, and so you should hear the call out be something similar to forward to Shannon, and that just refers to Shannon, Ireland, which they'll be going off the coast of Ireland at the later stages of the second stage if they have to abort. So just prepping you now for some of those calls. You're hopefully going to hear that word nominal a whole lot on the way uphill. 10.5 minutes. Things are pretty quiet. As John I said, it'll pick up right at about 10 minutes. We'll wait for the crew just to confirm that their displays are in order. The crew is already strapped in and reported that they are go for launch. And we'll continue to watch the fuel gauges tick up on the Falcon 9 vehicle until fueling cuts off at just about 2 minutes prior to launch.
Dragon, SpaceX confirmed displays are configured for launch.
SpaceX Dragon displays are configured for launch.
Copy. Bob, Doug, on behalf of the entire SpaceX team, it's been a huge honor to help you get
Hey Doug, how you doing?
historic mission.
Hi.
Know that we're with you.
I can't find my camera.
And enjoy those views of our beautiful planet.
I can't see yours either. It must be because I'm streaming optimized for video, maybe?
Yep.
Thanks. It is absolutely our honor to be part of this huge effort to get the United States.
Can you see the stream all right?
Business.
Oh, yeah. No, it's perfect.
Awesome.
We'll talk to you from orbit. Thank you.
Copy all. Thanks for those words.
SpaceX core, so again, that voice that's going to be talking to Bob and Doug throughout their mission. I'm right here in Hawthorne, just offering a few quick words. The crew did confirm their crew displays are configured for launch. We are coming up on 9 minutes and counting.
We've gotten through T-minus 10 minute with the crew discussions. Activity is now going to switch over to Falcon 9. Our next major event comes at T-minus 7 minutes. We begin what we call engine chill. Pre-valves will open. Those currently separate propellants on the first stage from getting down to the Merlin engines. We'll open the pre-valves. That allowed fuel liquid oxygen to flow to the top of the pumps. And more importantly, when we open the valves, that'll allow us to begin chilling.
Thanks, Darcy.
The 9 Merlin 1D turbofans on the first stage engine. It'll take a few minutes to get them cold enough to where they would then be ready to pass the large amounts of liquid oxygen through the pumps and into the main thrust chambers when we get to engine ignition.
They look pretty fashionable compared to the 60s.
We don't want to
Oh, yeah.
highly chilled liquid oxygen through a warm pump. You would flash that into gas, and running gas through a high-speed pump is not a good thing. So right now, we are waiting for T-minus 7 minutes. That'll start the engine chill. Shortly after that, we will also get the fuel shutdown.
I guess that's what's happening with the smoke. The last time we could see all the smoke rising from the thing, and I thought they were loading fuel and it was burning off, but I guess this is pre-cool.
Yeah, listening to the
it's not like a normal engine. It's got all these special requirements.
Yeah.
As we start the chill, we will.
I mean, there's a lot of consumables going into that baby.
Topping off stage 1 fuel, and then the fuel load will complete.
Really, when you think in the scope of things, it's not, I mean, we're going into orbit of our own planet. It's just that there's people.
I don't know. It's still impressive.
Oh, absolutely. It's an amazing engineering thing. And I sure as hell hope nothing goes wrong.
Me too. Yeah.
We've heard
they said they were
stage 1 engine chill has started. That's gone up to the crew so that they've got situational awareness. As I mentioned, the pre-valves are open, and now we are topping off first stage fuel, getting ready to finish the fuel load. Liquid oxygen load on first and second stage will continue until the last 3 to 2 minutes of the countdown.
Should hear that call out RP1 load complete coming up at about 6 minutes. Again, RP1 is just that densified kerosene or that rocket fuel that Falcon 9
Well, you hear that? So if that load completes in 6 minutes, that's only 20 seconds before the launch.
Yeah.
Huh.
And stage 1.
Those guys in that cockpit must be fairly excited.
Did you watch the guy on the far side? He was twiddling his fingers
saw-
like as I was just like, I'm going, are we doing Hail Marys or?
Draining back the lines
Yeah,
now. So
he's
first
probably got some
stage
anxiety he
and
doesn't even
second
know
stage
about.
fuel are
But that's
complete.
going to become an
Liquid
internet
oxygen
meme, you'll
loading
see.
is continuing on both stages. You can see on the view on the left side of the monitor the condensation, the cold gas wrapped around the stages as the tank skins are chilled by the densified liquid oxygen, picking up the humidity
Falcon
from the
9
Florida
is up
air.
line.
It looks like at this moment we're a little more than 90% full on the oxidizer on the first stage, ticking up towards that 80% mark on the second stage. We'll be counting down all the way till about 2 or 3 minutes, as John and I just said, until everything is loaded
Falcon
in
9
Falcon
heaters
9.
closing out.
I wonder if that's a municipal water tower, if that's part of their operation.
I'm saying that's theirs. I was looking at it. See all those pipes that the four along the bottom there? That's the cool bottom of it.
Oh, I see.
Water
So it's
hose.
not a water tower, it's just a tower.
Yeah. Well, it's full of water, but yeah, it's theirs. You know what I find interesting is they're actually giving way more content than we got with
Pressurizing the
NASA.
Falcon 9 tanks. We're going to open the clamp arm around
They're
the
giving
second
what?
stage.
More
Begin to
detail
retract the strong back.
than what I got from the NASA ones originally.
Oh.
That'll get us
You know,
to the
telling the fuel level and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just didn't understand at the time.
Possible. And PR is really improved now for these types of organizations.
Yeah.
Launch director called out the strong back retract has started. On the left, you'll see it go back just a couple of degrees.
Oh, a little more twiddling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frankly, I couldn't do this. Like, you wouldn't
No.
get me on that thing. You wouldn't get me within a kilometer.
No, I couldn't do this. It's like, you know, I'm getting sweaty hands already. I'm just like, holy shit, that's
yeah.
At this moment, Bob and Doug are
Exactly.
really just laser focused on those displays.
I mean, if you survive it, you're cool for the rest of your life, automatically.
Where their fuel loading is at.
And it could be like Buzz Aldrin and punch people and everything. But if you don't survive it, you won't even know it.
No.
3.5 minutes from launch.
Wow.
So there's no pain. It's just that I want the rest of my life.
The Falcon 9.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very science fiction-y to me.
Yeah. Like a little happy face almost to the top with the diagonal, like the two eyeballs. And,
yeah.
Pogo bleed.
Pogo bleed.
Yeah, it's going to be, and I bet you the ride is like a lot of force, like gravity, and then a lot of shaking, like probably shakes like hell.
Okay, we're at T-minus 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Stage 1 locks
like
load
almost
is
to
closed
bruise
out.
you,
Stage
you know what I
2
mean?
We'll continue to load for about another half a minute or so. Once we get the completion of stage 2 LOX loading, we have to vent down the line, so you'll see another large white cloud coming off of the strongback. That'll be normal. That'll happen around
transitioning to
T-minus
internal power.
1 minute and 40 seconds. We're going on internal power now.
Just a few
Well, they're
seconds
unplugging
away
it.
from the stage 2 LOX load being complete. It's been almost 9 years since we've been in this position. A lot of work done by thousands of people to get to this point. All our eyes focused on 2 now.
Ooh, what's that? Rain?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I think it is actually. You know what it is? They started watering the decks.
Oh, I see. It's just the wind is in the wrong direction for that camera.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they started watering the decks with their spray stuff, so things don't catch fire.
Just to add a bit of heat capacity to it.
Yeah.
All fuel, all oxidizer on Falcon 9. 1 minute 34 seconds to go till launch.
And that time goes fast, eh? Like that was very fast. 7 minutes. It's like
those guys are sitting there thinking it's too late.
Yeah. Mommy. It actually looks pretty good there. The backdrop, doesn't look too bad. The weather.
Yeah. And they have to be ready for like setting down in the ocean and all
Yeah.
kinds of. So they need good weather
Yeah.
over a large area.
Yeah. 52.
For a minute now, the FTS, the flight
Jesus.
termination system, has been armed.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
SpaceX Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
T-minus 30 seconds.
It's not going to take long to get up there either, I'll tell you.
No. Well, I remember we watched that one with Bernard. We were watching those SpaceX launches in around Christmas there. It was fun.
Pressing for
the three of us.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Yeah. There it is.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon.
Holy shit, that takes off fast.
Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
Nice and stable.
Yeah.
Perfectly aligned. Very slow when you look at it in this scale.
Yeah. Oh, this is the part I like at the bottom.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Yeah, look at the speed, eh?
400.
So we're already 500 miles an hour.
Plus 30 seconds into this historic mission. Flying crew
So you got
on
1G
board
plus
Dragon
that
and Falcon 9, and
acceleration.
look at 'em
Yeah.
go.
Falcon power telemetry nominal. M1D throttle down.
We're throttling down to get ready for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the throttle bucket.
They're waiting for the air to thin out.
Yeah.
Reports say all systems are go.
Wow.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Yeah.
We've exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
You know,
M1D throttle up.
that's supersonic, but that's a big mass
We're
going
throttling
up.
back up to full power as we're through max Q.
We're at Mach 2.
Jesus.
We heard that one Bravo call out. That's just the second abort zone that they're in. They'll continue to be on this until the first stage has done its job and they switch over to the second.
That's the scary picture of that. Look at that.
2.3 times
Yeah.
gravity.
That thing is all motor.
Yeah.
It's literally like an explosive, like a controlled explosion.
Yeah. They're amazing pictures from ground, the camera.
Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event coming up is going to be the triple. We'll have main engine cutoff of the 9 first stage engines, stage separation, and then ignition of the second stage engine to continue to carry astronauts into orbit.
Wow, they're already out there.
Yeah.
Look at that
Coming up
on-board view.
That's it.
M1D throttle down.
57 miles
Yes.
downrange. Oh, no, altitude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Throttle
upward.
down
Yeah.
the Merlin
Yeah.
engines on the first stage.
Okay.
Now, the altitude probably is asymptotic, of course,
And
Yeah.
we
but the speed is going to keep rising.
Falcon stage separation.
Well,
There
I guess
goes.
it's asymptotic too.
Look at it drop out. That was beautiful.
Now they're going to
And
light another motor.
we just starting.
They're still alive. Good. He's not twiddling.
The
Yeah.
first stage beginning its flight back. The second stage being powered by that single Merlin 1D vacuum engine has ignited and is now
Acquisition of signal
carrying
loss.
Bob and Doug into orbit. So they're going to continue under the power of this second
Stage
stage,
2 propulsion is nominal.
which will cut off at SECO, or second engine cut off at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds into today's flight. So a little over 5 minutes to go still on this second
So you
stage.
can still see the
Good to
speed
call out
rising,
to
even
Alpha,
though that
so they're
motor
now
isn't
in
putting
the
out
longest
much
abort
fuel.
zone that carries them
No.
all the way from about North Carolina up the eastern seaboard, almost
Kind
to
of like a
Canada.
drag strip going up, you know.
Things looking good though, getting good call outs, nominal propulsion on that second stage.
Yeah.
Bob and Doug continuing to make their way into orbit.
It looks kind of Mickey Mouse in contrast, as you say. Like you see the engine turn red. At first, I thought, Jesus, it didn't seem to flame up at all.
Dragon
Yeah.
SpaceX nominal
Because-
trajectory.
Because I remember the original Saturns seemed to be quite a big bang on the second. but their burn was much longer on the first, so those are bigger motors on the bottom.
Yeah.
All right, here in nominal trajectory, so Dragon pointed in the right direction, continuing to make their flight uphill. Heard acquisition of signal Bermuda. That's one of the other ground
Remember,
stations
this only goes
that
to
they're using
orbit,
get
so there's
telemetry and
different
data back
physics.
from space.
Stage 2 propulsion is still nominal.
Right, I should say different engineering requirements. I saw something moving earlier across the skirt of that. I don't know, did you see that?
I thought I had too. It looks, they're vibrations, I guess, or something, or little flecks of something. Ice.
See, I saw another piece go off. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's probably ice.
Yeah.
Could
Could
be
be
4 minutes 40 seconds into the flight. Bob and Doug flying at more than 5,600 miles
Dragon
per hour.
SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Already almost 200 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Nominal.
So they're going to have the Space Center on frickin' visual pretty soon.
Yep.
Man.
They're the paddles on the landing thing, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Launches are way more exciting now because you've got your launch, then you've got
You
your
get to watch the
docking and-
landing
Yeah.
of this and the docking.
So never mind efficiency; it's all
On
about
your
the
right screen,
spectator
you can see
aspect.
that first stage with the grid fins deployed. It's making its way back to attempt to land on our drone ship. Of course, I still love you today. And we're just about a couple minutes away from the entry burn, and that's where 3 of the 9 Merlin engines do ignite to help slow the vehicle down as it re-enters back into the Earth's atmosphere. And then after the entry burn will be the landing burn, which is just a single engine
Dragon
burn.
SpaceX nominal trajectory.
Look at his captain's view there of the Earth.
There's that call out.
Well, that might be a rendering of some kind, you know.
Dragon.
give
Well,
them
look at
some
the
status?
but look at the window there.
Oh yeah,
from
you're
the
right.
engine.
On second stage on your left screen.
You're right. I mean, that is
Yeah.
kind of how far they
Yeah.
are. You're right.
Yeah.
I get. Yeah, it could be a different camera that has a wider field of view.
Again, on your right screen is that first stage booster coming back towards our drone ship. Of course, I still love you. We're
I
about
think
a
those
minute
paddles
away
are more to
from
do with
intro burn.
control than braking.
Oh yeah, I think that's exactly
While
what
that
they are.
second stage continuing to power Dragon into orbit. Again, if you're keeping an eye on
Because you
that
can add a
tower,
lot of
that's gonna
force with
continue
those
to
without
burn
using
until 8
much
minutes and
fuel.
44
Yeah.
seconds into flight.
What do
So
you
a
think
little
those
over 3
flashes
minutes
are?
from
Is
now,
that
here to
clouds?
Falcon, Seco. It'll
I
then
mean,
be
no, I
a
think
little
those
over
flashes are
Still good.
rocket.
a little over 3
Oh,
minutes.
blasts.
It's part of the guidance,
Dragon
I think.
physically
You're right.
separates the
Okay,
second stage
that makes
of the
sense because
Falcon
they
9
look.
after the upper
Dragon
stage gets a
SpaceX
chance.
nominal trajectory.
Yeah, a little too artificial.
Yeah.
And they look like they're directed too, like
Continuing
conical.
to check in with Bob and Doug as they are on a nominal trajectory. Just about
You know
10
what I mean by
seconds
conical?
away from that 1st stage. Starting that entry burn on your right screen, we should be able to see that view live.
Yeah. Oh, they just tilted their little pieces.
I saw that there. So they're doing
There it
probably
is. There,
most
we
of the
just
work.
we just lit it up.
Yeah.
Entry burn beginning. This burn lasts about 36 seconds long.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
While that entry burn continues, we're just about a minute away from Seco. We'll have a number of events all happen in rapid succession. It'll be the second engine cutoff.
Stage 1
We'll be
entry burn
looking for
shutdown.
that stage 1 landing burn shortly after.
Yeah, actually, just within a few seconds of each other. It's such a swing their way to their targeted orbit.
M1D to recovery 1.
So exciting today.
M1D.
It doesn't stop.
It does not stop.
All right, we did hear again that call out, good orbital insertion, so that means
Yeah.
Look at their speed.
Falcon 9
Yeah.
and Dragon right now exactly where
Yes.
they're supposed to be.
M1D to FRC on recovery 1.
And it's right at about 12 minutes when Dragon will separate. Looks like we saw a 0G indicator floating around there. I know Bob and Doug owe us a little bit about what exactly that is that they brought up with them.
It's one of their kids' toys, I think.
Probably, yes.
Well, it looked like a dinosaur, so whatever.
Yeah, a very cute, shiny
Yeah.
dinosaur. maybe
do
a
make
dragon
sure
because it's called
to
a
make
something
Yeah.
dragon
they
maybe.
do ensure that the vehicle is not spinning.
It's
and is
interesting.
in
The
good
speed's down a bit
condition
there, eh?
before we
Yeah.
Must be because they're settling into orbit, so
That's
they're
right. The upper stage
actually
does
lost some
small attitude
altitude.
maneuver
Yeah.
using some cold gas thrusters built into the rocket body itself.
Exactly. So we do expect that separation to occur in about a minute from now, but they do wait until they have full confirmation that it is ready to separate.
A smooth
Oh,
ride uphill both
frig.
stages of the Falcon 9 doing their job, placing Bob and
Man.
Doug in orbit. I mean, this is a day, this is a historical day. This is
Look
us
at those.
kicking off
Yeah.
that new era of space flight that we've all been talking about and longing for since the space shuttle program came to an end in 2011.
Yes.
And the weather cooperated.
Yes. Second time's a charm.
Right.
All right, so day for the history books. As you can see, we have lost some live signal there, but the mission still continues, and we're going to send it over to KSC to continue broadcasting live with you guys.
Loss of signal, Newfoundland.
Yeah, Jesse and Dan, we are just in awe over here. When I woke up this morning and looked at the weather forecast, I was like, man, we're going to be back here on Sunday, but we did it. The room cleared out. Everybody was outside watching, and inside the lights were shaking. The
Well, that
cameras
was
were shaking.
perfectly
Lauren came
uneventful.
back in
Exactly
with
what we
tears in
hoped
her eyes.
Well,
for.
no kidding.
It was amazing.
That's pretty cool.
I can't believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. This is, I'm a little bit speechless. Just so grateful.
So I guess there's nothing to happen now for 20 hours.
And there's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
So I assume they're going to have another one in the morning or whatever, 19 hours,
Yeah.
20 hours from now. Well, actually,
Yeah.
it'll be about noon. It'll be actually when we're on tomorrow.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'll
that's
probably
national
exactly. I'll probably. I won't maybe put the stream on, but
showing
Yeah.
what Americans can do when we come together as a team.
You can turn. Yeah, I don't care about that
Yeah, I'll
one
turn
so
the
much,
stream
but
on, yeah.
that's fine. But
This is what it's all about.
wow, it was good timing. Let me close my backdrop. It's got real bright all of a sudden. All those extra big Zoom screens showed up. Anyway, yeah.
Well, that's engineering at its finest.
No kidding. That is so. I don't know. I feel excited when I watch things like that. I was like, that's thrilling.
Because it's not just like it's not the object in like this collection, the system is big, so it's not just a lot of finesse, and a lot of care that would obviously take a huge amount of people, but there's also a lot of power involved, like energy compared to most projects.
Yeah. It is quite engineering wise. That is one amazing project. I like the separations. They look so clean. Like they didn't. I don't know how they decided to separate them, because I remember the Saturn stuff always looked like there was a fairly big flame ball pushing it. Yeah, and it was like an explosion. This one, I don't know. Maybe they used cold gas and expelled it with pressurized gas, but there was almost nothing to see. So you got this beautiful clean. You watch the second stage drifting off of the capsule, and it's all clean, and inside it's not burned or anything. It's very cool, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
See,
the thing being released is a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much. The force probably to get it on that different trajectory. Also, it could be that the whole assembly is very close to their final speed, so they don't really need much of a separation. Because the other option is, like if you need a few more miles per hour, let's say you're shy of a couple of miles per hour, you got to pick that up maybe then, right?
Oh, sorry. I was just giving you a little thumbs up.
Learning some Zoom. The Zoom reactions there.
Well, they only have
the
two.
Zoom reactions never work.
Oh.
I can't do a Zoom reaction for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess you're the owner of it. Maybe you don't get to do that. Who knows?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I don't get to react.
Yeah.
It's a read for me in theory if I'm doing like a presentation. Yeah. So I was streaming this thing. I guess I'll shut that off.
Yeah.
Where's the button for that? Here we go. Do you want to stop?